Good day, grateful people. This is Dr. Nathalie here. Today I wanted to add a little something to my new podcast series, Breathe In, Love Out. This specific series that you're listening here is something long time overdue, but it was not yet the right timing for me, as we know that everything has its season and its timing. And this series here is from my older blog I had a few years ago when I was writing from inspirations, never knowing what I was going to publish next because I was inspired, and I was inspired as I was doing something or experienced something myself. So it was always a gift to write from inspirations and read myself and be in awe with the wisdom it contained. So each little audio will bring you to think about something in your life, and it will help you to either learn about your higher self, or it will help you to better your connection with your higher self or inner self. Oh, this is also why it might sometimes feel like I'm reading something to you, because actually I am in a way. Opposed to when I record something from inspirations like this, I go with the flow without a script. And it's okay because the goal is to bridge the knowing and the knowingness. Just a little parenthesis here. I started reprogramming myself when I was 17 years old, and I'm now 57. So yes, like many of you, I started thinking that I had to change my habits and better myself in becoming myself, trying to find my authentic self. But over time, I became aware that I was still doing this from an ego-based standpoint. I guess it became obvious as I was learning more and more about metaphysics and about my own essence, which was not exactly what I was taught when I was younger. So of course, my learnings shook my older beliefs and even my faith at one point, because what I have been taught was no longer accurate for me. There was more, there was something more, there was a lot of unsaid. So my view and understanding started to be way much more inexplicable, until I started to be clear about needing my own vocabulary to explain what I was learning, what I knew, what I experienced, and also needing my own true experience of what I'm teaching and talking about. I walk the talk. I always did, and that is something I always wanted to do. I'm never talking about something I'm not mastering myself. So of course you can guess that struggles, extreme anxiety, hitting the bottom of the pit, hitting the bottom of the whatever there was in all the areas of my life happened at one point or another. But it was helping me to go to the source like I wanted to do. I wanted to understand this on my own. And it was not only to reprogram my thoughts, but I do believe that we can also reprogram our DNA. I learned later that it was possible to do that, so it started to make sense. And one thing that is fun about myself, that I find fun and amazing, is that every time I'm experiencing something, I'm learning something, my teacher is always within myself. And later, I find a book or a mentor talking about that, explaining that in details, in different ways, in different forms. And that confirms what I had, what I experienced. So I was just not going crazy. So this specific podcast series contains very short audios, between 5 and 10 minutes each week, because they are filled with exactly what you need to hear, just that, nothing more, to understand the task you have for that day or that week, to start creating your own reality on your own term, to stop the ego controlling your mental space. Because I'm not a psychologist and my degrees are not in that, I've always been on the holistic side of the needle, I was led to a more spiritual approach. But actually, spirituality is no religion. You know that already. I'm sure you know that if you're here. And spirituality is often what people are putting aside when they don't want to have anything to do with religion. So what they do is they function with only their ego-based mind, only with their ego in control of their mental space. And then they get lost because they don't understand. And they see a lot of, beautiful inspiration things or beautiful quotes or beautiful thing. But many times those are appealing to the ego. And they're still going round and round, and they cannot understand how they cannot keep their connection with their higher self. So when I received the download of my tagline, because actually it is breathe in, let go of all the ego-based thoughts and vision so you can see from your soul and you can only love out. I did not know exactly then that it would evolve the way it did. And there are a lot of things you will not get in this podcast series, but it's okay. I'm planning to do another one later. So it started with breathe in, love out, knowing that we were breathing life, we had to change something, and we were ending up breathing out with love because we were seeing from our heart. And then I understood that it was about lifting up ego veils, because yes, of course, often you might hear talking about the veil, what's beyond the veil, but I've learned that there are lots of ego veils. So my understanding evolved over time. So I'm really, really happy that you're here. I'm very excited that you are here, and I hope you will continue, because I have about 400 something audios. So once a week, you see how long this can last. And this specific series will always be between 5 and 10 minutes a week. But each week, you will be asked to observe yourself, to think about yourself. You will be given an example. You will have a topic. And hopefully, you will learn to lift up those ego veils so you can just enjoy and live in harmony with yourself. Anyway, I'm not saying more because today I just wanted to add this little hello. Here is what I'm doing, and this is why you're having this podcast. And this is also why sometimes it feels like I'm reading a script, because actually that's what I'm doing. So I'm wishing you a beautiful day, and make sure you enjoy what you do. Make sure you make a list of gratitude. You know, yesterday I started following a train of thoughts, and it was starting to bring me somewhere not necessarily positive. So I sat down and I said, okay, I'm just going to make a list of gratitude. It took me about, 10-ish gratitude that I was truly grateful about, and my energy shifted. So it does work when you do it properly, when you do it right, when you do it with the right intention. And I was grateful for real for what I was writing. Anyway, that was not the topic for today. But yes, I'm wishing you a beautiful and grateful day, and enjoy the audios, and talk to you soon.